Seth Rollins' current character is lazy.
All right, so I'm going to do something that I absolutely never do, and I honestly despise doing, but I'm going to do it. So I hardly ever do this, but somebody sent me a video of the content creator Santi talking about Seth Rollins starting, how Seth Rollins is starting to annoy him. He does this segment where people give hot takes and then he reacts to them, and he reacted to somebody saying that Seth Rollins was annoying, and he came out and basically said that, yeah, the music annoys him. So Santi laid into the idea that Seth Rollins chants, he didn't say the music annoyed him, he said that the chants annoyed him. And so Santi laid into the idea that Seth Rollins chants during other people's promos devalue whatever storyline Seth is currently involved in. And he didn't go as far as saying that Seth's character annoyed him, but he did. You know, Santi's a nice guy. I love his content. He's very, very, very good at what he does, but he's a nice guy, and I don't think he's willing to take that next step. Maybe he is. I don't know him, but I'm willing to take that next step. I'm not a nice guy. I'll be honest. And I feel like I've been talking about this for the last 2 weeks. Seth Rollins' current character is lazy. It feels like he went to read a book about how to be an effective babyface, and he just hits all of the little tropes that get the crowd behind you, but it's so just cookie cutter. And I think this is why it belittles the opponent and the stories that he's involved in. There is absolutely no substance to the Seth Rollins character. If you can find the substance in the character, leave it in the comments right now, because I absolutely, when I look at Seth Rollins, there is no substance. Right now, to me, Seth Rollins is just the weird kid right now. He's Dennis Rodman. He's Madonna. He dresses up for attention, not because it's who he is, but because he knows of the effect and the reaction he's going to get. Seth, you've had your fun. It's time to evolve this character into a Seth Rollins that has depth. What bothers me the most is that behind all of the layers of bullshit that he's put into this Seth Rollins character, there is somebody who is, if not the best wrestler in WWE, guarantee there is somebody underneath that shell that is a top 3 wrestler in all of pro wrestling. And gimmicks are great. I am the first to jump on a guy with a good gimmick and go, this is what you need. But Seth's gimmick is just being weird and just being slightly odd. And it doesn't work for me. This kind of character works if you're the eccentric heel. If you're the bad guy who's kind of a mix between the Joker and the Riddler, that can work for me. But when you're babyface, it just, I mean, this sounds smart ass, but it reads to me as a mix of like Austin Powers and Dr. Evil. And so they put Seth into these credible situations without any credibility. Seth Rollins has literally taken all of the complexities that make up Seth Rollins and he stripped them away to form this one trick pony who relies on these cheap costumes and the crowd's bad habits. This is the same thing that we mean as fans when we say that the crowd boos for Dominic Mysterio is just the cool thing to do. I know a lot of people don't understand what we mean when we say that, but it's the same thing as when people go to a basketball game and the game gets boring and they do the wave. It's just the cool thing to do. It's just habitual to a crowd. It's the same reason that when Kurt Angle comes out, the crowd chants, "You suck." Kurt Angle doesn't suck. It's just the cool thing to do. And Santi is right. There is a point where the crowd chant has become a crutch that Seth Rollins leans on, and it belittles his opponents. I think that guys are going to start kind of rolling their eyes when they're told, you know, you're next for Seth Rollins, because I don't see a path where guys can actually get into the ring and make themselves look credible. When you talk about Shinsuke Nakamura, I don't see the path for Shinsuke to look credible unless he just outright beats Seth Rollins. Now, I honestly think Shinsuke Nakamura should be the guy to knock off Seth Rollins. I think that he's a great transitional champion to whatever you have planned next. I think that he would make the IWC go nuts. I think the casual fans would absolutely love it. So I do think that Shinsuke would be the right guy. I think that there's a part of WWE that thought they don't want Seth Rollins in the ring with Finn Balor and Damian Priest because of what happens. I think they got a sample of it with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. I actually do. I think they saw that no matter how good Finn Balor was, Seth Rollins can go back to that crutch of the crowd and they just get behind him. But here's what I want. This is honestly what I would like from Seth Rollins in the next 6 months, because I think Seth Rollins has done almost everything. I think I'm ready for Seth Rollins. You had a great run with this World Heavyweight title, but I don't think, I think it's time that we transition out of this. I would like for Seth to either drop the title, keep the title, whatever, but to start building a faction around himself of kind of misfit, villainous type characters. I'd like to see a heel turn from Seth Rollins. Give him Braun Breaker. Give him Bronson Reed. Give him Cora Jade and Becky Lynch, and let them form this band of misfit villains who are just kind of mischievous and like make it feel like a Batman movie. I think Seth Rollins could rub off on so many younger wrestlers. I do think, I know Seth Rollins has done the faction thing before, but I don't think it's ever been done correctly with Seth Rollins. I think there's a part of me that thinks Seth Rollins could do what CM Punk did around 2011, kind of with the Nexus and kind of with the anti-establishment. I think Seth Rollins would be primed to do that inside of WWE, but I also think that he could bring people like Becky Lynch, Cora Jade, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker. He could bring those people around them and elevate them. He could bring Braun Breaker in and immediately make him credible.